Hey, what's up, everybody? This is D from Brooklyn talking to you today about a topic we hear a lot but may not completely understand: acclimation. Today, I'm going to tell you what it is, what steps are involved, and exactly why do we acclimate fish and animals. So, join me and let's look at the definition.
From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh ha ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh ha ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh, but.
So, the definition of acclimation is the process in which an individual organism adjusts to a change in its environment, such as humidity, pH, allowing it to perform across a wide range of environmental conditions. In layman's terms, adjust to the tank at home.
Just dump these guys in there and they look like they're falling apart or something and just compromise the whole system, because even though this is quarantine, there are fish in here already. The ideal situation would be to have a separate tank just to put these guys in, but since I don't have that, I take a few steps in treating them before I put them into the tank. So let's take a look at the step number one.
Now, as mentioned in the caption, in case you hadn't seen it, before you do anything, inspect your fish for any tears, fin damage, or possible infection before even going any further. Now, let's get back to the video.
Step number one, I open the bag. I know this sounds really silly, but I pressure regulate the bag is what I call it. Opening the bag immediately changes the chemistry of the water, because what happens is fish are respirating. That means they are breathing. They are stressed. They are creating ammonia with their stress. Now, a lot of people will say that they open the bag and put them straight in because of that. I pressure regulate the bag and float it. Now, I'm not floating it for a long time. I float it in the quarantine tank that I'm going to put them in. But before I do that, I open the bag and let them pressure regulate. When they're in the tank, the bag is open. It does alter the pressure in the bag. I know it's a really weird thing and everybody will have their input on what and what not to do, but this is what I do. Give it, take it or leave it. Open the bag. I fold the bag over, which is going to be hard to do, so let me get the tripod and set the phone on there. Okay, now the bag is floating, and what you want to do so that the bag doesn't just go slipping into the fish tank is fold the ends over. Fold them over, fold them over, fold them over. And what happens if the bag does drop below the water surface, a lot of times if you put some air in there, it won't fall completely in the tank. Or you can hang it over the side like this. It won't fall in the tank. If you got a deep tank, you can put a clothesline pin on there or something to that extent to keep it from falling into the water. And at the same time, the fish will temperature acclimate. So step two is temperature acclimation. Now, the thing with temperature acclimation, I'm going to keep this really quick. If the tank you're putting them in is relatively warmer than the tank that you're taking them from, it is not so much of a big deal as it is if the tank is colder. Shock will be more intense if you're putting them from hot water into cold water. It's like if you come from work, you're sweaty, you're hot, and jump into a cold shower. Your body temperature jumps or drops really quickly. It drops really quickly. Since fish are generally cold-blooded animals, their body cannot adjust that fast. The temperature drops. That's when they get ick, they get all kind of stress, the pH shock, everything else. On the other hand, what I'm going to do as step three is treat them for stress and illness while they're in the bag. So hold on a second. This is what I need to use for all of my fish. It is methylene blue. Try to get you a good shot of that. Methylene blue has been around for ages and ages and ages. And you might be saying, hey D, why do you have a bag on your hand? It's because methylene blue is one of the most stain intensive things that you could ever deal with in this hobby. And I only got one bag on my hand, because even gloves, to get this blue stuff on you, it is a pain in the neck to get off. So try not to get that on my hands or clothes. So if you're concerned about your clothes, don't deal with this stuff, because if it gets on your clothes, forget about it. It's like dye. I have a little dropper here. I get some of this methylene blue. You only need about 1 drop. Basically, you could just dip this in there. You see how dark that is? 1 drop in there. Boop. And that is all it takes. Okay. I'm really careful with this stuff because it is stain intensive. All right, let me put this away before I get ready to put it on the floor, which is just as bad as touching it. That stuff gets on you, forget about it. I'll just put that in the sink. As you can see, it's tinting the water. And even with the plastic on my hands, just touching it for like a split second, you can get a little bit on you, forget about it. You can see the water tints really quickly. You can give it a little bit of a shake just to break that up at the top, but believe me, what the methylene blue does is it treats the fish for any external parasites they may have, any bacterial or fish-borne ailments that they may have before introducing them to your tank. Now, it won't 100% prevent, but people have been using methylene blue for a long time, and it is one of the biggest, probably most widely used chemicals. Probably goes by 100 different names, but I use methylene blue. So we will leave those fish in there for a few minutes, let them temperature acclimate. I'll leave them in there for about 10 minutes. I use 1 drop. Read the instructions on the bottle because there will be specific instructions on your medication. It'll probably say other than that. It'll say 15 seconds. It'll say whatever. It depends on what you buy or the manufacturer of your treatment. But you want to treat the fish before you release them into the tank for any scale or, fin-borne ailments that they may have before releasing them, because these guys are doing okay. You want to put them at risk. So that is step 3. Okay, now the last and final step is to get a net that you do not use for your fish tank, or just a dedicated net that you use for new fish. If you don't have a dedicated net, you could simply take the net when your fish are into the tank, take the net and clean it off. You can get a mixture of like about 1 teaspoon of bleach to about a quart of regular fresh water, and just rinse your net in there to kill any parasites, and then dry it off very well and get that into your tank. Okay, these guys are ready to go in. I don't want to get that methylene blue into the water, so I take the net like this, release the fish, don't put the net in the water. You can release them at this point. They should be very happy to get out of the bag. Best case scenario is they haven't been in the bag that long. Take your bag, take it out of the water. Do not get the methylene blue into the tank. You don't want that, because methylene blue will pretty much beat the hell out of plants and everything else. So your fish are in the tank. They'll take a while to acclimate.
So now your fish are all acclimated, and with any luck, they'll live healthy and long, nice lives. This is D. This is my video. Click subscribe. If you've got any questions, leave them below. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you keep your animals healthy.